Brandon Sanderson. Ever heard of the guy? Yeah, I guess you have, but probably not the short story I'm reviewing today. Come check out this delightful tale, the complete opposite of the monstrous tomes he's otherwise dropping these days. Welcome to Fantasy for the Ages, the show where a father and son talk about fantasy, science fiction, horror, and other nerdy things we enjoy. I'm Jim, the father of this show, and I've got a short story to review for you today in the sci-fi fantasy realm, and I hope you'll enjoy it. If you do, give us a like and subscribe to our channel if you're not one of the thousands who already do. So I'm talking about Long Chills and Case Dough by Brandon Sanderson, a short story he released in December of 2023. The genre is a mashup of science fiction and mystery written in the detective noir style. There's not really clear fantasy in this story, but it is definitely fantastical. It's also quite funny, and not just weird Sanderson funny. It's actually a hoot. Sanderson wrote an earlier version of this short story shortly before he published his first novel, Elantris, back in 2005. But Sanderson never got around to publishing this short story. It just kind of sat there forgotten in the background. It even had a different name back in those days. Then, as part of what Sanderson got up to during the pandemic, when he wrote his 4 secret novels, he also pulled out this short story, cleaned it up, did a little editing, polished it up so it was ready for the light of day, and then sent it out as a bonus release right at the end of the year of Sanderson to all those people who had supported his secret novels Kickstarter campaign. I was one of those, so ta-da, in my emails in December of 2023, I suddenly received Long Chills and Case Dough. And it just sat there for a while, because I didn't know what it was, and I was busy with other things. When I got around to reading it, I really enjoyed it. I'm going to tell you all about that now here today. You cannot buy this short story, though. Nope. But you can download it for free now on the Dragonsteel website. That's the only place you can legitimately get it. The ebook version is available. You might be able to buy it in print copy too, but all I wanted was the ebook. So I'll drop a link down in the show notes, and you can go right there. Download this for yourself. It's not very long, and I think it's worth your time. The setting of the short story is the year 2051 in a futuristic version of Chicago. We're close enough now to 2051 that I doubt we'll be quite capable of the level of sci-fi that is on display in this book. But who knows? The right technology advances. It's possible. This is the story of Jack Darrens, a private detective who, for reasons, has intentionally distanced himself from the realities of 2051 Chicago and instead has adopted a stereotypical 1920s noir persona. Noir, that's not a word I use very often. I don't like Pinot Noir wine. So instead of just being like everybody else here in 2051, he's gone with behavior, attire, speech, even slang from that 1920s period, just like you'll read in the detective books or see in the old movies. It might be easy to view him as a complete kook, but the thing is, he's not. He's actually quite effective as a detective. His preference for the old style does not stop him from being quite proficient also with modern gadgets and technology when he needs them. It's simply a choice he's made, and we learn about why eventually. For our story, we follow Jack as he takes on a case, a pretty critical case that others are like, why are you taking this on? No, this is a slam dunk. This is not a case that even needs research. Yet, Jack is on the case. Now, this case, while it's a good mystery of its own, I find it primarily as a vehicle for us to meet Jack and to come to enjoy and appreciate how he chooses to interact with the world around him. It's honestly quite entertaining. Oh, and he does eventually solve the mystery. For plot depth, I mean, it's a short story, so you'd think there wouldn't be much depth here, but that's actually false. It's surprising what Sanderson builds into this story, as we get to uncover both the twists and turns of the detective's case, which is quite ingenious, while also discovering the truth behind Jack Darren's and his chosen way of life. I enjoyed and appreciated the reveals as they came about. As for characters, the main character, Jack, is just a gem, and you can't help but enjoy and root for him. But he is also the anchor upon which many other characters are brought into our experience, all quite entertaining in and of themselves, but also entertaining for how they choose to interact with Jack. Chief of these characters is Alici. I read it, so I don't know how to pronounce it. Alici, his secretary, who he wants to just have as a typical 1920s noir secretary. But she's like, oh, no, I'm a modern woman. There's much more to me here. And she proves to Jack and to us that she can be of much more service than just sitting there polishing her nails while she waits for the phone to ring. I enjoyed how Sanderson is able to write Jack with a perspective on the world that is so specifically noir, while surrounding him with a bunch of people who enjoy him, support him, and think he's a hoot, even as they shake their heads at his odd choices. I found the characters all to be reasonably well developed and actually somewhat realistic, and even Jack comes off that way, odd as he is. For writing style, I can say that even though Sanderson refreshed this short story before releasing it, it still represents an earlier writing style, a time when, in my opinion, he was honestly a little simpler and more fun to read. This is no Wind and Truth, his latest release. This is just light and fun, easy to read, and an all-around good time. So I liked Sanderson's style in this short story. What themes might Sanderson be leaning into with this story? I came up with a few. Identity would be one of them, saying we don't have to let the world define the role we play. We have some freedom. We can make choices. The world can be as bleak or as fun as we choose to let it be, despite our specific circumstances. Our resources may impact that, but we can still choose to be dour or positive and love what's going on. How we feel is up to us. Truth and perception is another theme. The case at the root of this mystery novel appears to be one thing, while it's really something very different. All is not as it appears, but that's also true of this detective. A third theme would be the struggle of nostalgia versus progress. Just because the world moves on, it doesn't mean all the things from the past lose their value or charm. Some might say it's time to grow up, get real. Others will continue to enjoy playing in the past, and that can be okay. Final theme I'll go with is corruption and power. This ties to the mystery itself. Just like many detective stories, this story features people and institutions trying to manipulate scenarios and people for their own advancement, their own agenda, to the detriment of others. The pursuit of power and wealth for its own sake is never a righteous cause. Warnings in this story: well, the mystery starts with a mass shooting. Now, that doesn't happen on screen. It's just happened before the story comes about, but that's what the case is linked to. So if you're going to be really uncomfortable, not enjoy a story that has its roots in a mass shooting event, if that's too sensitive for you, stay away from this book. Other than that, it's a pretty innocuous story. My rating is a 4 out of 5 star for this book. I was completely entertained, but the story simply isn't long enough or deep enough to get a higher rating. There's nothing wrong with it. This is great fun, and for me, some of the best of what I actually enjoy in Sanderson's writing. So I think it's worth a read, and since it's free, you should go download it, check it out. Okay, I'm going to go into just a little bit of full spoil commentary. If you haven't read this yet, this is where you stop. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you later.
The Spoiler Room.
Okay, if you're still here, you have read this short story, and here's just a couple more thoughts I'll share with you. This story had for me similar vibes to the one secret novel from the year of Sanderson that was not Cosmere related, and was actually my favorite of what he released, The Frugal Wizard's Handbook to Surviving Medieval England, which is also leaning into the humor and science fiction elements. I'm finding myself a bit burned out over the Cosmere right now, and still having a heavy case of Stormlight Archive hangover after reading Wind and Truth. But this Sanderson content is gold for me, showing how he can be creatively quirky, inventive with a plot, and witty with character interactions in ways that don't feel overworked or preachy. This was refreshing. The anti Wind and Truth. Sure, it doesn't have much depth, but we don't always need tons of depth. It's got enough. This was just a lot of fun to read, and we all need more fun. Also, I thoroughly loved learning that Jack is actually very rich and could do anything he wants, highly successful as a police detective, and he just decides this detective noir style is what I want to do. That's where he can live life with the most enjoyment while still getting some actual good work done from time to time. Jack's a great guy. It shows by how well he's respected and welcomed everywhere he goes, even as he disses people in his noir style. I mean, that was so on display when he visited the police precinct. Everybody's happy to see him while he's all, yeah, these coppers and never wanting to give me any respect or help me out. And they're all just tripping over themselves to help him out. They love this guy. It's one of my favorite moments of the story. That's where I'll leave you. Got any thoughts on this short story or things I said about it? Put them down in the comment box. I love seeing your comments, and you know I respond. And while you're down at the comment box, look in the show notes for the ways you can interact with Zach and I beyond just the comments. Our social media links, an invitation to our Discord server, even our Patreon page. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you next time.